Welcome. You are now entering a space where ideas that have endured for centuries reside. Ideas of people who sought clarity amidst the noise of the world, strength in simplicity, and tranquility in understanding the nature of things. Stoicism was not born in the quiet of study rooms, but in the midst of life itself. Its founders were travelers, philosophers, statesmen, people who faced hardships, losses, and constant change, and yet discovered a way to remain resilient. This wisdom is not about rigid discipline, nor about suppressing feelings. It is about inner freedom, the ability to distinguish what is within our control and what lies beyond our influence. The clarity of vision that allows a person to remain calm, even when chaos surrounds them. Today, you will touch upon these ideas. The thoughts of Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, Seneca, people who left us knowledge for a quiet, strong, meaningful life. Knowledge that does not lose relevance, no matter how the world changes. Make yourself comfortable. Allow yourself simply to listen. Do not analyze, argue, or compare, but receive it as ancient students did, calmly, openly, attentively. These words are not instructions, nor rules to follow. They are an invitation to look within yourself and see those parts that have long awaited clarity. Today is a journey into the heart of Stoic wisdom, into the teachings of simplicity, responsibility, serenity, and strength. Strength that arises not from struggle, but from understanding. Let us begin. On control. Remember, at the heart of Stoicism lies one of the simplest yet most transformative distinctions: the distinction between what depends on you and what does not. This division may seem elementary, but it is precisely what defines a person's serenity, their clarity, and their resilience in the face of life. There are things that are within your power, and only yours. And there are things you can observe, feel their effects, experience them, but you cannot change them. The Stoics called this the key to freedom, to the inner freedom that cannot be taken away by any circumstances. What depends on you are your thoughts. Thought is the first field of choice. You do not choose which thought arises, but you choose what to do with what has appeared. You may hold on to a thought, or let it go. You may believe it, or examine it. You may allow it to control you, or remind yourself that you are the one who decides. Your intentions are also within your control. Intention is the direction of your will, where you choose to direct attention and effort. Intention decides what you strive for, what you consider important, where you invest your energy. You do not always control the outcome, but choosing your aim is always yours. Your reactions depend on you as well. Something may spark initial surprise, irritation, joy, or anxiety. The first feeling arises on its own, but what follows that is yours. You decide whether to let emotion dictate your actions. You decide whether to respond hastily or with deliberation. You decide whether to act out of fear or reason, out of impulse or understanding. Your actions are also under your control. They are the true expression of your freedom. Every action is a choice. It reflects your character, your beliefs, your inner order. External circumstances may limit the body, but they cannot take away the moral freedom to act. You always have the ability to choose honesty, respect, calm, and clarity. Now, what is not within your control? This is a far wider realm. First and foremost, the opinions of others. You may strive to be understood, speak sincerely, act with pure intentions, yet you cannot control how others perceive you, what they think, or what they decide. The past is beyond your power. No word ever spoken, no action already taken, no moment that has passed can be changed. The past is like a stone, immovable, but your attitude toward it is alive. It can be less painful, less burdensome, less heavy if you allow yourself to choose it. The weather is beyond your power. It changes independently of your wishes. It lives by its own laws. No amount of thought, worry, or regret will alter nature's whims. But you can adjust your response to them. Chance events are beyond your power. Life sometimes delivers unexpected happenings. An unforeseen call, a chance encounter, loss or gain, a turn of fate. We cannot control randomness, but we can control how we meet it. History, politics, economics, the tides of society. These too are beyond your control. You can participate, influence, act, but never command. Stoicism does not suggest ignoring what is beyond your control. It invites you to free yourself from false responsibility for it, from the inner struggle that arises when one tries to change what cannot be changed. Release yourself from the fight against the impossible. This does not mean indifference. It means ceasing to be a slave to the unattainable. When you direct effort where there is no result, you exhaust yourself. When you strive to control the uncontrollable, you create suffering. But when you see the boundaries of your power and accept them, peace arises. The less you cling to the external world, the calmer your inner world becomes. Not because the world changes, it will always be noisy, chaotic, unpredictable, but because you no longer depend on it. The inner world is a space where you are free. Free to choose your thought. Free to choose your attitude. Free to choose your action. Say to yourself, I do everything I can. The rest is not in my control. These words are not surrender. They are wisdom, a return of control to where it truly belongs, and letting go of control where it never existed. Let this thought fill you. Let it become not just a phrase, but an inner anchor. A phrase you can return to whenever the world feels confusing, whenever things go differently than expected, whenever circumstances feel heavy or unclear. This thought brings you back to what depends on you, to your center, to the essence of Stoic calm. Consider how much energy, how much time, how much inner resource do people waste trying to change what is not within their power? How often do they argue with the past? How often do they replay someone's words, searching for hidden meaning? How often do they wonder how they might have acted differently, how they might have avoided events that already happened? How often do they expect the world to adjust to them? How often do they try to predict, preempt, or control chance events that may never come? This struggle is endless. And the crucial point, it is powerless. Stoicism offers another approach. Do not chase the external, but strengthen the internal. When you stop striving to control the unchangeable, you free energy for what is truly in your hands. You become calmer, not because life is easier, but because you cease complicating it with the illusion of control. You stop being a victim of circumstances. You stop being a hostage to expectations. You stop depending on what you cannot govern. And then you become strong. Strength is clarity. Strength is knowing the limits of your influence. Strength is attention directed toward what is yours to manage. Strength is the inner discipline that allows you to maintain steadiness of mind, even amidst change. Strength is being able to say, I will do what I must. I will act according to what I deem right. I will strive, work, think, and endeavor. But the outcome is not in my hands. And in these words, freedom, no one can guarantee success. No one can ensure that effort will lead to the desired outcome, but anyone can guarantee honesty to themselves. Anyone can choose virtue, responsibility, reason, and clarity of intention. This is what is always within your power. When you rely on your share of responsibility and allow the world to carry the rest where it will, you become flexible. And flexibility is another form of strength. Flexibility is the ability to move through life without constant resistance. It is the skill to adapt without losing oneself. The ability to meet the inevitable calmly, because the inevitable is not in your control, but your response is. Understanding the distinction between what depends on you and what does not allows you to live more clearly, more serenely. You cease scattering yourself over countless things that provoke anxiety and uncertainty, and focus on what you can truly act upon. This is Stoic discipline of control, a discipline that makes a person strong without demanding harshness, that makes a person calm without demanding indifference, that makes a person wise without demanding perfection. Just remember, everything that depends on you is yours. Everything that does not, let it follow its own course. You can observe the world, but you are not obliged to hold it. You can hear the words of others, but you are not obliged to take them to heart. You can experience any event, but you are not obliged to bear responsibility for what you could not change. Regain your inner space. Regain clarity. Regain the peace that emerges when you recognize the boundaries of your influence and accept them. I do everything I can. The rest is not in my control. Let this phrase become not a simplification, but a source of strength. Not a withdrawal from responsibility, but a return to true responsibility for your thoughts, your decisions, your actions, your life. On perception. You do not control events, but you always control your attitude toward them. The Stoics repeated this truth again and again, not for the sake of elegant words, but for inner freedom. Because it is in perception that serenity begins, and it is in perception that anxiety arises. It is not the world that disturbs us, not people, not their actions, not circumstances, but how we understand them, what we think about them, the judgments we impose on what happens. It is not things themselves that disturb us, but our judgments about things. This ancient Stoic statement is remarkably modern in its relevance, because no matter how much time passes, the human mind works the same way. It seeks to explain, to evaluate, to predict, to assign meaning to what occurs. That is why perception is key. The same event can destroy one person and strengthen another, not because the event is different, but because perception differs. The Stoics taught us to see events as they are, without turning them into catastrophes, without coating them with fear, without unnecessary interpretations that only fuel the inner storm. Every event is neutral. It is simply part of the world, like rain, like wind, like night, like the changing seasons. We are the ones who color events, with anxiety, with joy, with drama, with tragedy, or with calm. The thing itself is silent. The mind speaks. And today, you can give yourself a rare gift, to observe events not through the eyes of worry, but through the calm, clear gaze of a witness. You can release tension, release interpretations, release judgment. There is no need to struggle with the world inside your head. You can simply allow what is happening to be what it is. Imagine your thoughts as clouds in the evening sky. They appear, they drift, and they dissolve. You are not obliged to control them, not obliged to chase them, not obliged to explain or analyze every cloud. You can simply observe without struggle, without attachment. You can imagine yourself sitting on a hill, watching thoughts pass before you, some dense and heavy, others light and almost transparent. But no thought stays forever. None defines you. None has power over you, unless you choose to surrender to it. A thought is not a fact. A thought is merely a suggestion of the mind. You can accept it, or you can decline. And so it is with your perception of the world. You can decide what meaning to assign to an event, which reaction to choose, what color to give to what is happening. Sometimes we invest far more in an event than it itself contains. A minor delay in schedule, and the mind creates a story of disrespect, an unfriendly glance, and the mind paints an adversary, a change of plans, and the mind sees a threat to stability. But what if it is just rain that suddenly fell? What if it is simply a person whose thoughts do not include us? What if it is mere chance without hidden meaning? Most of our anxiety arises not from events themselves, but from how we interpret them. And today, you can try seeing the world differently. Take a slow breath and a slightly longer exhale. Allow your body to relax, and the mind will soften. Let every thought, every internal explanation, every tense, "Why did this happen to me?" slowly dissolve. Like a mark on water, you are not obliged to invent meaning for every moment, not obliged to assign judgments, not obliged to defend yourself from what has not yet occurred. You can allow events to be simply events. The Stoics called this direct perception, seeing things as they are, before you add your emotions, expectations, fears, or old beliefs. This is freedom of perception. Imagine a pane of clear glass. When the mind is tense, the glass becomes marked with doubts, expectations, fears, past experience. We look at the world, but we see not the world, only the imprints. When the mind is calm, the glass is clear. The event is seen plainly, without distortion, and in that clarity, there is no room for panic, no room for excessive drama. There is only understanding. The world simply unfolds, and you choose how to relate to what unfolds. This is the management of perception. The great Stoics said, "If an event can be endured, then it is not unbearable." Indeed, no event destroys us by itself. What destroys us is what we think about it. If you see difficulty as a lesson, it becomes an ally. If you see unpredictability as an opportunity, it ceases to frighten. If you see a mistake as experience, it ceases to be a nightmare. No event is required to have a negative meaning. We place it there ourselves. Today, you can experience what it means not to believe the first thought immediately. A thought arises. You notice it and ask yourself, is this a fact, or is it my perception? And often the answer is simple. It is merely an interpretation. You can replace interpretations with calm, simple, neutral ones. For example, instead of, "This is bad," say, "This just happened." Instead of, "This is a threat," say, "This is a change." Instead of, "This is a catastrophe," say, "This is a situation." And you will feel how your body takes in more air, how tension gives way to space, how the mind stops clinging to extremes. take a gentle breath and a calm exhale. You can observe how emotions arise and pass without needing to suppress them and without needing to immerse yourself in them. An emotion is a wave. It comes and it passes. A judgment is a choice. It can be changed. This gives inner flexibility, and flexibility is resilience. A flexible tree weathers the storm because it does not break. Likewise, a person with flexible perception does not break under circumstances. The Stoics said that wisdom is the ability to yield to the world when necessary and to accept it without inner resistance. This is not passivity, but understanding. Perception is your space of freedom. If there is even a small pause between an event and your reaction, in that pause lives clarity. Now you can let that pause be. Imagine any event as a letter that comes to you, but you decide whether to open it now or not. You decide how to read it. You decide which words matter and which are just noise. You can stop rushing to conclusions. Stop rushing to react. Stop rushing to decide what it means. The world rarely means what we think it does. The world simply is. And the fewer interpretations you add, the more serenity you hold inside. Allow this understanding to gently settle within you. Let it become a quiet light that does not blind, but illuminates. Today you can release all that is unnecessary, all that the mind generates automatically, all the excess explanations that never brought relief, all the stories you have told yourself, but which were not true. You can breathe more freely, think more freely, notice without judgment, feel without fear, listen without hasty conclusions. This is pure perception. And in this pure perception, you become calmer, clearer, more resilient. Let thoughts come like clouds and go, without struggle, without attachment, without trying to hold or chase them. You observe, and observation liberates. You listen to yourself, and in that listening, silence arises. You see the world without coloring, and in that seeing, wisdom is born. Inhale, and a long, gentle exhale. You do not control events, but you always control your attitude toward them. And in this, your strength, your freedom, your inner support. You can see clearly, you can perceive calmly, you can choose wisely. And this is what makes you resilient. On calmness. Calmness is not the absence of problems. Calmness is the ability to see them clearly. It is the capacity to remain yourself, no matter the form life takes. The Stoics never sought a world without difficulties. They sought a state in which difficulties do not disrupt the inner order, where an external storm does not become a storm within. Problems may come, events may change, people may say things beyond your control, but inside you, there is always a space that no one can enter except yourself. This space is the source of your calmness. Right now, you can draw closer to it. Take a gentle breath and a slightly longer exhale. Let the air pass through you easily, without effort. Let your breathing become a quiet reminder. You are here, you are alive, and you have an inner space that belongs only to you. Calmness is not the result of escaping the world. Calmness is the result of understanding the world. When you see things as they are, without excessive expectations, without bias, without the need for things to be right, or as they should, then clarity arises. Clarity is the sister of calmness. One cannot exist without the other. Ask yourself, what in this moment depends on me and what does not? And when the answer becomes clear, tension begins to dissolve. Because struggle ends where understanding begins. You are not obliged to solve everything now. You are not obliged to be perfect. You are not even obliged to feel good every minute. You are simply human, alive, breathing, changing, and all that happens to you is natural. Calmness is not about forcing yourself not to feel. It is not about pretending that problems have disappeared. It is about allowing yourself to be honest and at the same time gentle with yourself. You can say to yourself, yes, I have difficulties. Yes, I do not know all the answers, but I am not obliged to know them right now. These words liberate. You can allow yourself to slow down, to pause the inner rush, to stop demanding immediate solutions from yourself, and simply be in this moment. Inhale and exhale slowly, stretching the breath. As you exhale, release tension, not abruptly, not forcibly. Let it leave you as a shadow departs, unnoticed, natural, slow. Imagine your body becoming heavy like a warm stone that has been warmed all day by the sun. Warm, stable, calm. In the same way, you can allow yourself to be still within, even if the world around you lives its own life. Remember, nothing external can disturb your calmness without your inner consent. This does not mean indifference. The Stoics do not teach apathy. They teach discernment. Discernment between what you can influence and what simply occurs. There are many things in life you cannot influence. The actions of others, random words, changes in the world. But you can always choose how to meet what unfolds. And in that choice, calmness arises. It does not appear suddenly. It is not a flash or a miracle. Calmness is practice. It is the habit of being gentle with yourself. The habit of bringing your attention back to the present moment. The habit of acknowledging what is, without immediately trying to fix it. The world rarely meets our expectations, but it always follows its own nature. And when you stop demanding the impossible from the world, an incredible relief arises within. Right now, you can feel that relief, not as a loud sensation, but as a quiet, steady light inside. It does not shout, does not demand attention. It simply exists. Inhale and exhale calmly. Let your exhale be slightly longer, so the breath helps your nervous system slow down and your mind to become clearer. Repeat to yourself, I am calm. I am here. This is enough. Let these words not be a command. Let them be a gentle reminder. Soft, calm, warm. Calmness is not a reward for effort. It is a natural state of mind when it stops struggling with what has already happened and stops rushing toward what is yet to come. Right now, you can feel how space grows inside you. Thoughts may arise, but they do not capture you. Emotions may swell, but you do not dissolve in them. You observe, and observation brings silence. And that silence is your strength. Strength is not in tension, not in controlling every detail, but in the ability to remain steady while the world around you rages. Yes, sometimes the noise becomes loud. Sometimes life demands much. Sometimes circumstances are more complicated than expected. But even then, inside you, there is this space of calmness. It does not disappear. It may be hidden beneath layers of anxiety, beneath thoughts, obligations, worries, but it is always there. Sometimes, merely remembering it brings relief. Calmness is not passivity. It is the conscious readiness to act, but without panic, without haste, without inner chaos. When you choose action not from fear, but from clarity, this action becomes right. You are not obliged to rush. You are not obliged to prove anything to anyone. You are not obliged to meet someone else's expectations. You can simply be. And in this lies immense freedom. Take a gentle breath and a smooth exhale. If tension arises inside, allow it to appear. Do not resist it. Do not try to eliminate it immediately. Simply observe. Presence dissolves resistance. You can say to yourself, I notice tension, and I allow it to be. Paradoxically, this is what frees you. Problems may be complex, but your inner reaction can be simple. Humble acceptance is not defeat. It is the beginning of wise action. When the mind is quiet, it sees the path. When the mind is agitated, the path is lost in noise. This is why calmness is wisdom, and wisdom is calmness. Now you are in a state where thoughts soften, where breath becomes steadier, where the inner voice grows quieter, and you begin to hear what is usually hidden behind anxiety. This is your natural state. Deep, quiet, enduring. Repeat to yourself, I am calm. I am here. This is enough. These words can become your anchor. You can return to them whenever needed. They are simple, but in simplicity lies strength. In silence, clarity. And when you spare your heart, when you allow yourself to feel, without dissolving, to think, without becoming entangled, to slow down, without stopping, then you become resilient. Such a person does not break. They bend and return to form. They experience and continue the path. They fall and rise with renewed clarity. This is calmness. Alive, strong, wise. And now, it is near you. You can already feel its presence. You are already within it. Inhale, and a gentle, long exhale. You are calm. You are here. And this truly is enough. On gratitude and presence. Right now, this is the only moment you truly have. Not the past, which is already gone. Not the future, which has not yet arrived. But this moment, quiet, warm, barely noticeable, yet real. The Stoics taught, we do not live in memories, nor in expectations. We live in what is happening right now. Yet most of the time, we miss this moment because the mind always seeks to go somewhere else, forward or backward. Right now, you can allow yourself to return. Return to this evening. Return to your breath. Return to yourself. The past is already finished. It cannot change you now, unless you are still holding on to it. Every mistake already made. Every success already happened. Every word you said, every choice you made, is already part of history. And this history does not need endless revisiting. It was what it could be. Based on your understanding, your experience, your circumstances, and your state of mind. The future is not here either. It may arrive in thoughts, in images, in plans, but it does not yet exist. And what does not exist cannot be a source of calm. So stay here, in your breath, in the silence, in the sensations of your body, in this simple yet living moment. Take a gentle inhale and a gentle exhale. Feel the air enter you and leave you, requiring no effort, demanding no control. Breath is the greatest teacher of presence. It always happens in the now. Not in the past, not in the future. Only here. Feel your chest expand. Notice your shoulders slowly rising. Feel your belly soften. Watch the inhale gently transform into the exhale. This process is simple, yet in its simplicity lies wisdom. It reminds you that life consists of ordinary moments that are often underestimated. Yet it is these very moments that make up everything you call your life. Right now, you can feel gratitude toward yourself for being here, for choosing to care for yourself, for allowing yourself to pause. Even when the world around you demands constant motion, gratitude is not an obligation. It is not an exercise, not a duty to anyone. It is a quiet inner movement, felt when you stop rushing. Feel a gentle gratitude for this evening, for the opportunity to rest, for the day having come to an end, for the fact that now there is nothing to prove, nothing to fix, nothing to accomplish. You can simply be, and that is enough. Thank your body for carrying you through countless tasks, emotions, events, for enduring pressure, processing stress, healing wounds, and still continuing to serve you. Sometimes we demand too much from the body without noticing its quiet work, but now you can notice, feel, acknowledge, thank your breath for always being with you, even when you do not think about it, even when you worry, even when you are tired. It asks no questions. It simply moves. Inhale after exhale, exhale after inhale. Thank your mind, at least for trying. It attempts to protect you, anticipate the future, process the past, understand what is important. Sometimes it is too loud, sometimes too anxious, but it works. It does what it can. Now you can allow it to rest. Just for a while, just for this evening. Thank yourself for having made it through the day. It does not matter successfully or not. It does not matter whether it was easy or difficult. You have reached this moment. You did what you could, based on what you had. Strength, emotions, resources, mood, circumstances. You have already done enough. Not enough well. Not enough correctly. Not enough efficiently. Simply enough. This word alone is enough. Let thoughts about what you should have done more, could have done better, did not measure up, slowly dissolve into the soft space of your breath. They are not needed here. They are not useful. They do not lead to calm. They are merely remnants of the day's race, which you can release. You have the right to rest, not because you did everything perfectly, not because you completed all your tasks, not because you were maximally productive. You have the right to it, simply because you are alive, simply because you need rest, simply because you exist. The Stoics said, "A grateful person is a happy person." But for them, gratitude was not an emotion. It was a way of seeing the world, a way to notice what already exists. Instead of endlessly striving for what is not yet, the ability to value the simple, simple breath, simple touch, simple silence, the simple opportunity to close your eyes and allow your body to release tension. Gratitude is always directed to the present. It cannot be about a future that is still unknown, and it does not need to be about the past, which can sometimes be too heavy. It lives only here, in this breath, in this silence, in this evening calm. You can feel gratitude that, right now, you have the chance to relax. You have the chance to be safe. You have the chance to do nothing, simply exist. This is a luxury we often overlook, but it is real. Let gratitude fill you with a gentle light, not bright, not blinding, not demanding attention, but a quiet, subtle light of inner calm. This light, like the steady flame of a lamp, burning in a dark room, creating a sense of warmth and safety. Take a slow inhale and a smooth, long exhale. If thoughts arise, observe them without judgment, without struggle. They may come. Memories, a to-do list, the image of a person awaiting a reply, a conversation that worries you. Let it all simply be. You are not obliged to interact. You are not obliged to sort it out, not obliged to analyze. You can let these thoughts be clouds, floating across the sky of your consciousness, vanishing over the horizon. Presence is not an empty mind. It is the absence of the need to intervene. Let everything that comes come. Let everything that goes go. And you remain. Remain here, in the feeling of your body, in the soft weight of your arms, in the warmth of your chest, in the steady rhythm of your breath, in the gentle gratitude that fills you from within. In this moment, there is no need to be better, no need to justify yourself, no pressure, no demands, no comparisons, no race. This is the moment in which you can be yourself, truly, without roles, without masks, without obligations. You have the right to rest, the right to be human, the right to slow down, the right to feel, the right not to rush. And in this right lies wisdom. You have already done enough. You have already completed your day. It is finished. Now begins the evening that belongs to you. Let this evening become a space in which you allow yourself to be soft, calm, grateful, present. Take another gentle inhale and an equally gentle exhale. You are here. You are in the present. You are at peace. And this is more than enough. Within you is a source of strength and calm. It has always been there, and it will always remain. Let this rest, this sleep, become deep, gentle, healing. Sleep peacefully. You are safe. You are home.